You might think I'm a total bitch for what I'm about to say, but if you want to be able to emotionally enslave any guy you want so he can never lose interest, cheat on you, or even think about choosing any other woman over you, then you need to watch this short video to the end right now, because I'm here to reveal a secret set of frighteningly powerful addiction words that subtly crawl into the back of any man's mind and give you total control over the way a guy feels about you, the way he sees you, and the way he thinks about being with you forever. To the point he'll go blind as a bat to every other woman but you, and start shamelessly chasing you around like a psychotically romantic Romeo, even if he barely looks at you right now, and even if he's literally already dumped you for someone else. Now, I know this might sound ridiculous and even impossible right now, just like it did to the hundreds of other women who've already used these addiction words on the man in their life to almost magically awaken his heart's deepest devotion and lock his romantic destiny to theirs forever. Women like Shalisa, who used these words on her distant, closed-off boyfriend and said, "He told me we should start seeing other people, but now we're engaged." Marilyn said, "He just wanted to be friends, and now I'm his girlfriend." And Evie tried them out just for fun on her cute new coworker, who she thought was way too good-looking for her. And she said, "This stuff works a little too well. The man 8 years younger than me is now madly in love with me." So, how is such a thing possible? Well, these sneaky little words have a weird and overwhelming effect on a man, because they use a little-known trick of the mind that not 1 in 10,000 women knows about, to crawl into the back of his mind and flip an emotional switch he can't turn off even if he tries to. A switch that changes the way he sees you, that changes the way he feels about you, that makes him pull away emotionally from all other women and completely devote himself to your happiness from this moment now and forever, even if he utterly loathes you currently, or has always been unromantic and uncaring up till now. So, I'd like to give you access to these secret words right now. First, though, I need to reveal a hair-raising true story of betrayal, lust, and power to you. Let me begin. I was lying in bed with my man, content as a kitten, the night of our engagement party. Everybody had gone home. The delighted congratulations were still ringing in my ears, and I know it's a cliche, but it really was the happiest moment of my life. Little did I know it was about to become the worst. I rolled over and gazed at the face of my handsome future husband dozing beside me. Suddenly he opened his eyes and looked at me. His lips trembled. I was sure he was going to tell me how beautiful I was. But instead, he looked at me with the saddest eyes I'd ever seen and said, "I'm sorry, I just can't do this." Now, woman to woman, I'm sure you'll already know how shocked and devastated I was. You'll already know how my mouth went dry with shock. My heart squeezed like a fist, and my whole body went cold as fear ripped through me like a knife. And suddenly it became so quiet. And then finally, into the ringing silence, he came clean and confessed the secret he'd been hiding from me for so long. "Kelly, I thought I was ready. I thought I was committed to you. I thought I wanted to get married, but I just feel trapped. And I don't think it's anything you did, but I just don't know if I can be faithful forever. Not the way you need me to. Not the way I should be. And this will hurt, but honestly, I don't even know if I want to try." Now look, I'm no fool. Jeff is a very attractive man, and I knew he had options when I met him. And believe me, I'm not some little girl expecting my life to be a romantic fairy tale. And yeah, maybe he was a bit distracted these past months, a bit less interested in me than usual. But I thought that was normal. I thought all relationships were meant to get less passionate as time went on. But it turns out that tiny whispering voice in the back of my head was right all along. That night, I lay in our bed alone and sobbing uncontrollably, wanting more than anything for Jeff to comfort me, but knowing I'd claw his eyes out even if he walked in the room. My mind tortured me all night, constantly jumping from one agonizing thought to the next. And in the morning, I was such a mess that I couldn't even go to work. So I called my 3 best girlfriends for help, the women I knew I could trust with anything. And I felt so betrayed when I walked into the room and saw they brought a total stranger with them. How could they do that to me? I was just about to demand this strange woman get out when my friend Lucy gave me a gentle hug and said, "Kelly, this is Mirabelle. Donna's friend. And I know this seems odd, but Donna brought her along for a very good reason. So, take a deep breath and tell us what happened. Well, the floodgates opened, and I sobbed and cried as I told them everything. And I was shocked to discover that every single woman there could relate. I don't know what it is about guys, said Lucy, but it's like they all have an expiration date on their love or something. Like, no matter how much he adores you at first, sooner or later, it all just turns to ashes because eventually you're just not enough for him anymore. My college roommate Donna piped up and said, "Try being married for 8 years." I don't feel like the love of his life anymore. I feel more like an afterthought and a maid. I mean, we finally had date night the other night, so I put on my sexiest underwear, even though it gives me a total wedgie, and I was so excited to actually get laid finally. But after all that, he barely looked at me. He told me he was too tired for sex, and then I walked in on him 20 minutes later, jerking off to Pornhub like I didn't even exist. Yeah, well, at least you guys have a man, Linda squeaked in outrage. I've been stuck in dating hell for 18 straight months, and I can't find a guy who wants a serious relationship, no matter what I do. Maybe we just have to come to terms with it, you guys. Maybe the whole idea of a soulmate is bull, and that way, when things eventually do go sour, at least it won't come as such a shock. But that's when things took a turn for the unbelievably rude, because that Mirabelle lady spoke up for the first time, and she wasn't having a hair of it. "All right, look, you puppies," she said. "I can't sit here and listen to this nonsense for one more single second. You need to let me explain to you exactly why you aren't getting what you want from men, and why there are a whole bunch of other women out there who get what they want. Women who have high-quality, embarrassingly romantic men breaking their backs trying to please them for an entire lifetime, while you guys sit around thinking that crumbs are going to be enough to keep you happy. This is the biggest pile of garbage I've ever heard in my life because right now, it's like you all enjoy being taken advantage of by men." Well, I recoiled like I'd been slapped, and I wasn't the only one. Eyes started to flash around the table, and I don't know what would have happened next if it hadn't been for Donna. "Mirabelle, hang on," she said with an embarrassed look. "The girls don't know who you are yet. I haven't told them." Then she turned to us apologetically. "You guys, I know she's kind of brusque, but you need to listen. Mirabelle is one of America's top dating coaches. She's here as a favor to me because I begged her to come. And she's a #1 bestseller on Amazon and is, famous for giving any woman the secret weapons we need to dig our way out of the bad relationships we keep stumbling into, and finally experience real love from a real man." "All right, look," said Mirabelle. "Do you want to hear how to fix the problem? Or do you want to carry on blaming men, blaming the universe, blaming anything, instead of hearing about the solution?" When she said that, it was like the whole world just froze around me. I gripped the table with white knuckles and asked, "You mean you can fix this?" "Oh, yes," said Mirabelle. "This kind of thing happens all the time, and the solution is actually a lot easier than you might think." Then, with the most matter-of-fact expression possible, she pulled out a pen, scribbled a bunch of words down on a napkin, and pushed it over to me. I glanced at it, and pushed it back with a blank stare. "What the heck is this?" I said to Mirabelle. "Addiction words," she said in a very matter-of-fact way. "Just think of them as the tools that are going to fix all your problems with men starting tonight." Then she turned to me and looked me in the eye. "Kelly, I know you're in terrible pain right now," she said seriously. "And if you really want to fix your relationship, you have to act fast. So I want you to take the 3rd word and the 7th and use them on your guy tonight. And by this time tomorrow, he'll have literally forgotten about all his desire for other women." Well, it sounded simple enough. But you know what? As much as I wanted to believe her, it all just sounded too good to be true. So I ended up doing something I'm still embarrassed about to this day. I waited until she left, and then I balled up that napkin and I tossed it right in the trash. But that's when things took a turn for the unexpected, because at 4 a.m. that very night, my phone shrilled in my ear and jolted me awake with my heart in my mouth. It was Lucy, speaking so quickly I could barely get a word in edgewise. "Kelly," she yelled, "you have to listen to me. That lady Mirabelle, she was right. I wasn't just going to let you leave that napkin behind, so I nabbed it and used those addiction words on Michael last night, and I've never seen anything like it. Lucy said they ended up having the most romantic, connected sex that had in months. But that's not all that happened, because that's when Lucy's voice dissolved into snuffles and giggles like some kind of crazy person. "Lucy, it's 4 a.m., I said. "Are you drunk?" "No, silly," she giggled. "I'm not drunk. What I am is engaged." I hung up the phone in a crazy swirl of emotions. Michael, Lucy's cold, aloof, bored-acting boyfriend, had proposed? I'd thought Mirabella's addiction words were likely nonsense, but if they worked for Lucy, could they work for me too? I called Jeff the next morning and asked if we could meet, and I didn't waste a single second. I felt adrenaline sparking in my veins and fear in my gut like I was jumping off the high dive. But I did it anyway. I took a deep breath and whispered Mirabelle's ticking clock phrase in his ear, just the way she'd outlined it on the napkin. And I will never forget what happened next. I looked up, and I saw the weirdest expression ever on his face. He'd sucked in some air like I just punched him in the gut, and then he collapsed right down to his knees like he was having a slow-motion heart attack. "I can't believe it," he choked, covering his face with his hands. "Oh my God, are you serious? No woman has ever said that to me before." Staring at my man down there on the floor, I didn't think things could get any weirder, but I was wrong. Because that's when this beautiful, masculine man, who had never shown weakness to me before, suddenly covered his face with his hands and burst into tears right there on the floor. "Kelly," he choked, "I want to say something right now, but I'm terrified I've already ruined everything. It's just what you said to me just now changes everything, and I know it sounds crazy, but it's like a blindfold's been lifted. I can see now that you've always been the one for me, and now it's finally time for me to step up and be the one for you." So, what happened next? Well, we just celebrated our 3rd wedding anniversary, and the man who was afraid to commit before is now the man who seems almost possessed by overwhelming feelings of love and devotion to me. So listen, I know you desperately want to know. What were the actual words you used that made him want you, made him fall for you, made him obsessed with truly committing to you and only you, the way you always dreamed of? Well, that's a great question. And here's the really great answer. You see, a couple of months ago, my husband and I were snuggling on the couch, and we were giggling about how we got married, and Jeff was getting all embarrassed about that time he thought he wanted to sleep with other women. And then he hauled off and said something that gave me chills. "Kelly," he said, "these last few years with you have been like a dream come true. Just having you in my life feels so warm, so wonderful, so safe and right and magical that it's almost too good to be true. And honestly, that's why I can't stop freaking out, because if you hadn't said what you said that night, I would have ruined everything and never even realized it. So I have to know, how did you do it?" Well, I wanted to tell him, but I was petrified that he'd judge me for it. Finally, I just came clean and told him about the words Mirabelle had given me and how I'd used them on him to sneak into the back of his mind and make him fall for me harder than he'd ever fallen for any other woman in his life. And his reaction was the last thing I was expecting. He wrapped his arms around me and said, "Kelly, this isn't a bad thing. This is amazing. Honestly, if more women knew about these words, it would be a massive favor to men, because in that one conversation, you gave me everything I ever wanted from a woman, but didn't think I could have. Every guy should be so lucky." Then he went quiet, and I could almost hear his brain whirring. "Okay," he said, "I need you to do something kind of crazy. I need you to track that Mirabelle lady down and get those words off her. Because what you said to me that day was what every guy is dying to hear from a woman, but almost no women know how to do it." In that moment, I knew he was right. So I tracked down Mirabelle and I begged her to tell me everything she knew. And as we talked, she revealed the psychology behind these words that literally blew my mind. Secrets like the 4 driving forces that control men's emotions, and how to invisibly control those forces without him ever realizing it. By using secret emotional signal words to crawl into his mind and trigger a cascade of emotional ecstasy he's never even dreamed of. Secrets like the better than beauty phrase, and how women can use it to ignite a flame of desire in a man's heart without caking yourself in makeup or poking your face full of Botox. Heck, she even told me how all men, even the players, secretly long for real commitment with a real partner, and how to use what she called the ticking clock words to awaken overwhelming feelings of desire and devotion in his heart and fill him with absolute certainty that you are the only woman for him, from now until the end of time. And after just a few minutes of conversation, I was almost peeing my pants with excitement because it was all there. The studies, the years of careful research, the hundreds and thousands of lucky women who'd gotten to test these words out themselves, and who'd flooded Mirabelle with raving reviews about their success, until finally I just couldn't hold back 1 second longer. "Mirabelle," I said, "why are you putzing around doing one-on-one consulting work when every woman desperately needs to know these secret words that only you can teach?" And that's when Mirabelle's face went from smiling and happy to stern and depressed and sad. "I'd love to help more women," she said, "but I literally don't have time for even one more client right now." She said that the thought of the thousands of women out there who deserved amazing relationships, yet who didn't have the tools they needed to trigger that cascade of addictive emotions that has a man loving them more than he's ever loved anyone in his life before, was a source of constant guilt and turmoil for her. But that's when a strange idea floated into my head, and I said, "Wait, why don't you transcribe these words and turn these words into an online course? That way, you can reach women everywhere, and you'll still have time for the clients you've already got." Her eyes lit up, and she agreed right away. And over the next few months, I worked intensively with Mirabelle to pull out every last secret, every last technique, every trick and formula and phrase out of her mind. Secrets like the 3 invisible barriers women put up that drive a man away, and the 4 simple words any woman can say to break those barriers down and mesmerize a man like you've whispered a love spell in his ear. The red zone words you should say immediately if you suspect he's about to break up with you, that have him pulling you into his arms, cradling you against his chest, and telling you you're the most important person in his life and he can never let you go. And so much more that I'm ecstatic to finally share with you because I'm so proud to present Mirabelle Summers' Addict Him to You, the secret addiction words every woman should know. Addict Him to You is a step-by-step, simple, and easy-to-use online course that teaches you exactly what to do and say to crawl into the back of a guy's mind, into his heart, into his soul, and flip the switch in his mind that has him actually desperate to bond himself to you, and only you, on a deep and powerful level he's never felt for any other woman in his life before now. And there has never been anything like this course in the history of the planet before, because it doesn't matter if you're married, single, or in one of those complicated situations with a guy. And it doesn't matter if you think you're too young, too old, too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, too rich, too poor, too busy, or not busy enough. Because these secret addiction words work for every woman, in every dating or relationship situation. Absolutely every time. No matter what. Period. Here's just a tiny little taste of what you're about to discover. First, the 7 incredibly simple everyday words, yet that you'll never guess on your own, that spark an almost frenzied level of raw attraction inside even the toughest man within just moments of opening your mouth. And these 7 simple words will show you just how easy it is to really become irresistible to that one special guy. Now, do you want him to see you as the one? Discover my soulmate intensifier phrase that gives you your pick of smart, successful, romantic men by using emotional safecracker words that open a guy's heart and inspire him to love you more than he's ever loved anyone before. Psst, he'll literally do almost anything to please you after this. Now, once you've got a guy's interest, you've got to keep making an effort to keep it, right? Think again. Here's the amazing undying flame technique that uses a twisted and downright sneaky trick called positive confusion to keep him on his toes and prevent him from ever taking you for granted by feeding him the exact emotional trigger words that supercharge his interest and prevent him from ever getting bored with you. And there's one phrase that will do more for any stage of a relationship than 50 other self-help books ever could. Tired of going on dates that never go anywhere? I'll show you the irresistible magnet technique. That mesmerizes a guy by proving that you understand his secret desires and yearnings better than any other woman. This will have a man adoring you like a baby adores its mother, even if he thought you were boring, ugly, or even repulsive until now. Next, what does commitment really mean to a man? And how can you get him to see you as his absolute top priority in life? Just try the incredible ticking clock phrase that uses the subtle power of emotional positioning to sneak into the back of his mind and actually fill him up with fear and terror that he might lose you if he doesn't act now to lock you down and make you his. These words make the difference between a guy casually dating you and actually fantasizing about dropping to one knee and seeing you in your white dress at the altar. Dumped? No problem. I'll show you my ex-attracting phrase, which transforms an absolutely ice-cold, hateful man into this crazed lunatic of a lover who's so tortured by regrets of letting you go that he comes crawling back on his hands and knees and literally begs your forgiveness, even if you were the one who ruined things the first time. Are you worried he might cheat? Here's the 4-word phrase Mirabelle gave me for my distant, bored, sexually wandering man that saved my relationship in just one conversation. These words will have him convincing himself that you're the only one for him. And I absolutely promise you're going to love the way they completely fix his feelings for you at any stage. Now, do you ever feel that the man you want is emotionally unavailable to you? Here's how to crack the walls around his heart and have him admitting that he just can't keep away from you, even if he was previously a cold-hearted romantic idiot who made you feel like you were stuck in relationship Antarctica. Now, is he coming down with a bad case of commitment phobia? Discover Mirabelle's dangerously addictive hold-me-tight words that shatter his fear of commitment and magically draw him towards you like a magnet by cleverly hinting at the single most important thing every man yearns for in a woman. Important warning. The hold me tight words have nothing to do with playing hard to get and everything to do with using subtle psychological triggers to awaken a man's deep-seated hunter instincts, which transform even the most commitment-phobic guy into a primal hunter who stalks you like a starving tiger and eagerly craves to protect you, take care of you, and be with you all the time. Okay, this next one will sound weird, but when was the last time a man brought you a gift that took your breath away? Because if he stopped putting in the effort to romance you, then you're going to be amazed when you try the constant deluge words that cleverly awaken a man's provider impulses and make even the stingiest, most romantically selfish man of all suddenly crack open his wallet and start flooding you with the kinds of gifts and romantic gestures that will make you blush with happiness. And that you can post about on Facebook and make every other girl start boiling with jealousy right away. One simple thing that can make yours the only face he sees in a crowd. Do this, and he will never notice another woman again. How to have a man wanting the same things as you in the relationship by using the obedience reward technique that gets a guy to give you everything you've ever wanted from a man while thinking it was all 100% his idea. The 4-word text that no man in the history of civilization has ever not responded to. The surprising honey trick that heals even the roughest patch in any conversation, date, or relationship. Unconscious mistakes that are subtly turning him off. Most women believe they're helping their man when they do these things. The urgent response you must have when he gets angry, cools off, or goes silent. This has already saved over 3,516 women's relationships from falling prey to relationship-shattering fights. And so much more. In fact, I want you to imagine something with me right now. Imagine what it will feel like to wake up tomorrow morning and know that you have a secret power over men. Imagine the sweet joy and shivering ecstasy melting through your bones when that one special guy, the one you've wanted for so very, very long, finally wraps his arms around you, kisses you so sweetly, and in a voice choked with emotion, literally begs you to be his one and only for all time. Imagine knowing that no matter what happens in life, you don't have to worry about men anymore, because now you know exactly what he really needs from a woman and exactly how to show him that you're the only woman who can give it to him. Is that kind of power something you'd like to have? I think we both know that the fact you're still here means your answer is yes, yes, yes. So what's the next step on this amazing journey you've undertaken? How do we make all this real for you? Well, I'm glad you asked. You see, the good news is I have a wonderful surprise for you up my sleeve. First, though, I unfortunately have some bad news. You see, Mirabelle is a sought-after coach, and she charges a minimum rate of $270 per hour. And because of that, she thought she was being generous when she set the enrollment fee for this course at $197. But you know what? I said that wasn't good enough. Hardworking women like you and me, we don't have $197 to spend on ourselves. Not even when we know it's something amazing that's going to change our lives forever. So that means you aren't going to pay the $297 Mirabelle normally charges. You aren't going to pay $197. Heck, you aren't even going to pay $97. Not $87, not even $67. Because by acting today, and only through this online presentation you're watching right now, you get the full Addict to Him Secret Addiction Words program for just one simple payment of only $47. Just click the Add to Cart button right now. And I mean, let's talk woman to woman here. Right now, we're literally talking less than the price of one lunch with the girls, where you bitch and moan about how frustrating, disappointing, and maybe even heartbreaking your love life is. So, my suggestion? Skip the lunch, click the Add to Cart button right now, and you and I are off on a whole new journey together. A journey into a world where men make sense, where you wake up every morning feeling happy and safe and in love. And all you have to do is take one tiny, easy little step with me right now, and you cross over the threshold into that world with me. But you really do have to act now, though. See, this offer today is strictly limited to the first group of women through the gate, and your space is still available and hasn't been nabbed by the next woman yet. But if you decide to close this window and go off to think about it, then you will very likely lose your place to the next woman in line and lose your chance forever to get in on this life-changing chance for true love. Therefore, it is extremely important that you act right now. Plus, just to make it a ridiculously easy decision, I'm also going to offer you 3 amazing gifts that are only available on this video today. Your first gift is Mirabelle's incredible Human Lie Detector Handbook that walks you through the simple yet amazingly accurate verbal giveaways and secret body language signals men unknowingly use when they're looking you right in the eye and telling you a bold-faced lie. And let me ask you, how will it feel to skim through just the first 4 pages of this short, simple guide and finally know for certain whether he really does love you or not? Whether he really is being faithful to you? Whether you really are the woman of his dreams who he wants to spend the rest of his life with? Or whether he's just wasting your time, breaking your heart, and lying to your face, the way so many men do? Because once you've opened the cheating neutralizer and read just the first 4 pages alone, you'll know more about men, how they feel, and why they lie than 99.8% of other women on the planet. Your second free gift today is called the Cheating Neutralizer, where you learn the 3 simple psychological steps any woman can take to make the idea of ever cheating on you or leaving you for another woman feel as weird and wrong and just plain repulsive to a guy as the idea of kissing his own mother. Now, the Cheating Neutralizer is a unique tool that will legitimately skyrocket your success with men to outrageously high levels. And Mirabelle is actually taking this tool off the market everywhere else because, as you'll soon see, Step 2 in particular can seem a little too shocking to some people at first. Which means this is your one and only chance to get it. And your third gift today is a real doozy. Because if you act now, you're also going to get Mirabelle's Awakening His Masculine Dominance 5-Step Secret Handbook. See, if you're anything like most of my female clients, the one thing that makes you more nauseous and less satisfied in your relationship is being with a man whose masculine, dominant, take charge and romance you like a real man should side has withered up and died, leaving you with a man who's too timid to show you how much he cares, who's too scared to protect you and look out for you, a man who's too fearful and frightened and just plain wimpy to romance you and ravish you and take care of you the way you need him to. And that's why I know you're going to love this quick, easy read guide, because inside you'll learn a series of 5 simple steps you can use on any guy to awaken the strong, loving, masculine energy that's been sleeping inside him all along. And the very first time you use these 5 steps on that man, his spine will straighten, his voice will drop an octave, testosterone will flood every cell of his body, and he will finally become that strong, powerful, loving, masculine man you've been dreaming of. The man who can take control but doesn't have to. The man who takes away your stress instead of adding to it. The man who thanks God every day that you're the one who's chosen to be with him, and who's now 100% focused on being with you talking to you, opening up to you, and taking care of you as the strong, beautiful, powerfully feminine woman you are. Plus, you're also going to get 3, 4, or possibly even 5 more free gifts that I'm not even going to tell you about yet. And of course, you're not even risking a single dime anyway, because you're completely covered by Mirable's risk-free, no loopholes, 100% money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. Just grab your copy now. Use the ridiculously simple step-by-step instructions. You're going to have so much fun. And if, over the next 60 days, you don't love the course, love your results, and love all the delicious changes in your love life, or heck, even if you just flat out change your mind for no reason at all, then Mirabelle and I will refund every last cent just as soon as the banks can process it. And you and I will still be friends. Just click the button now, and you'll instantly get everything you need to have even the most woman-crazy player of them all suddenly going blind as a bat to every other woman but you, and start shamelessly chasing you around like a psychotically romantic Romeo. It's so simple. You don't even have to do anything, because when you use the secret addiction words, he will come to you. His heart is yours, and he will never, ever leave you. Click the button below right now. I'll take you to the order page and walk you through the process myself. The payment site is completely safe and guaranteed by McAfee Antivirus and VeriSign, so you know you're completely protected at all times. Just use your credit card, debit card, or PayPal and download your course to your phone, tablet, or computer. And access to my course is immediate and digital, so there's no waiting around or explaining embarrassing packages in the mail either. Then I want you to immediately turn to page 16. Read just the first 10 lines on the top of that page. Within the first 5 minutes, you will feel your blood boiling and bubbling with excitement as you realize that those 10 lines alone will get you more pleasure and adoration from the man you want tonight than you've gotten from any man in the entire past decade of your life. Simply click the button below and it's all yours in less than 2 minutes from now. And if you're anything like the hundreds of euphoric women who've already used these secret addiction words on the man in their life, well, pretty soon you're going to start getting a lot of curious questions about that sparkle in your eyes, that secret smile on your lips. And look, what you're getting in this package is worth literally hundreds of dollars. Normally, you wouldn't be able to receive Mirable's relationship coaching at all. You'd have to get on our waiting list, fly to our hometown, and pay hundreds of dollars per hour for private coaching. Yet, by ordering today, only through this video right now, you only have to pay $47 for information that other women have to pay Mirabelle over $300 for. Which means Mirabelle is literally giving you $261 out of her own pocket just so you can get started now. So when you think about it, your choice here is really pretty easy. You've learned about a never-failing foolproof method to wrap any man around your finger. You've seen the proof it works with your own eyes. You've heard the elated, ecstatic success stories from Shalisa, Lucy, Marilyn, and Evie. You've gotten an ironclad money-back guarantee where you can get all your money back right away if you're unsatisfied for any reason. And you're getting an 85% discount. Heck, if you think of it in terms of $47 for getting the kind of love you've always wanted from the man you most want it from, in 60 days or less guaranteed, that works out to just $5.85 per week, which is less than 85 cents a day, to awaken the love and connection and devotion in your life that you absolutely deserve, and all with zero risk to you. So now this video is nearly over, which means it's time for action. And that means you now just have 2 choices. Choice 1. You do nothing. You keep going the way you are now and try not to dwell on the incredible future for your love life that you turned your back on today. And who knows, maybe you'll get lucky. Or maybe you'll flub it and wind up making it worse and end up feeling humiliated, heartsick, or maybe even heartbroken. Or there's your second choice. You invest in the future of your love life right now, risk-free. Get everything I've offered you in this video. Use the incredible, proven, and easy-to-use addiction words on the man you want, and experience for yourself what it feels like to have a man desperate to please you, charm you, and keep you by his side forever. And again, with my ironclad money-back guarantee, you risk nothing. I don't want you to keep fumbling from one hopeless fake solution to the next, wishing and hoping for things to change, throwing away the best years of your life, maybe never experiencing the kind of total love and adoration you absolutely deserve, when the answer is in front of you right now, and you don't even have to do anything. All the work has been done for you, so you just follow the steps, say the words, and success comes automatically. And since you're completely covered with my 100% guarantee, there is zero risk to you at all. So let me leave you with one final thought. What is the one thing that sets apart a man who acts hateful, who's grumpy, bored, lethargic, and unloving, and a man who's drunk in love, who's so affectionate it seems crazy, and who can't see a single damn flaw in the woman he loves? I'll give you a hint. It's not how young or old you are. It's not how beautiful you look or don't look. Heck, some of the most beautiful actresses and models in the world get cheated on all the time. In fact, beauty, sex appeal, and how nice you are have nothing to do with how a man treats you. Instead, the one thing that truly controls how any man feels about you, the one thing that can make a man fall in love in the blink of an eye, the one thing that can spark a fire of desire in his heart no matter what you look like or how long you've been struggling for. Yep, it's the words you use. When you know how to use the right words with a man, you sneak into the back of his mind and gain control over how he feels about you instantly. No matter what you look like, no matter what he thinks of you right now, no matter how hopeless things feel to you this second. I mean, isn't that something you want? Wouldn't you at least like to find out for yourself? You don't even have to risk one single cent, since you get to test out the entire thing for free for 60 days anyway. In fact, the only way you risk anything at all is if you deliberately choose to lose out today by doing nothing. And woman to woman, I know that's not what you want. So now, this really is your last chance. Right now, you have the opportunity to gain control over how almost any man feels about you instantly. Right now, all you have to do is click the button, claim your place, and you're guaranteed to finally get what you truly want from a man. This will work for you. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. So go ahead, click the button right now, claim your place in my course, and join the hundreds of other women who have finally gotten what they want from a man. You risk nothing and you have everything to gain. So now the video is ending. Now the choice is up to you. Now it's your last chance. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the inside. Click the Add to Cart button to order right now.